With that, I welcome Gaurav Kumar.
Good morning, everybody. That's not what I expected at 9 a.m. energy. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good. So, thank you so much. Before I start, I want to thank all the unsung heroes, audio, video, people who set up the tables, organizing committee, the president, those who referred my name. They are also here in the room. And thank you to everybody who has helped in organizing this event. Truly appreciate it. It's a difficult thing, time consuming, but not everybody is appreciated for that. So thank you. If at any point you feel that I'm speaking faster than required or my accent is too heavy, just let me know. I can't correct it, but I'll try to slow down. So I normally do, sorry, just 1 second. I normally do workshops of 8 hours. Recently, I have been asked to do 4-hour sessions and now 1-hour keynote. So we'll have to figure out how do I take a workshop, session and a keynote. So if you have any questions, I will be here for maybe an hour or so post my talk. Any questions, any comments, any feedback, happy to answer them. Before I start, I just want to understand the audience a little bit. So how many of you, just raise your hands, are founders, CEOs, presidents, owners of their own company in the past, present, or aspiring to be an entrepreneur or a founder, CEO? Oh, most of you. Great. I'm hoping everybody is looking to increase the sales, as they say, right? Ready, set, growth. I will be covering 2 parts in this keynote. One part will cover how to get new customers. I'll keep it shortened for 20 minutes or so. Another 20 minutes, I will focus on how to grow existing customers, because that's equally important. And the third one is how to get that one large customer every year. Some of you have attended my workshops or sessions in the past. There will be a 10-15% overlap. I will take away all the stories and examples of mythological stories of Hinduism and Ramayana and Rama and Krishna, because the audience is different, and I'll try to plug in and create parallels with what we all can relate to. It's emotional after, once you are here and we stand and, our hands on our heart and we speak the national anthem, to speak after that. The emotions are very different. For all of us, most of us are immigrants, different countries, and that this is the land which has given us the opportunities. And I'm continuing that same emotion, same spirit with the national bird of USA, and that is the bald eagle, right? And if you look at eagle, all of you, most of you in this room is the eagle right now. Is the eagle in different way. So when I tell some of the attributes of an eagle, you have to relate to your own life, your own company, your own venture. Eagle fly with eagles. That's the first thing. So all of you who are promoters, founders, CEOs, owners, entrepreneurs, you like to be in company of similar people. Same mindset, same thought process, growth mindset, hungry for success, ambitious. All these attributes are in your DNA. and that makes you an entrepreneur. Second, eagles have 5 kilometer, around 3.5 miles vision. You don't need to take the notes. Most of it, I have gone to hundreds of books and websites and YouTube and TED Talks and LinkedIn's put together. If you will search, you will get everything. So the more we focus on the talk, the better it is. There's nothing that I'm saying which has never been said in the past. I'm just trying to create a parallel in a keynote session. So the vision, 5 kilometers, it can see its prey. And all of you as CEOs, our job is not to look at what is happening now. It is more of what will happen in 2, 3, 5 years down the line. Whether you are in real estate, whether you're a dentist, whether you have an insurance agency, whatever business you have, as a CEO, we feel it is important that you start looking, 2, 3, 5 years down the line. I was trying to compare with the birds that they don't fly with sparrows and parrots who keep talking and don't fly. With this, the third attribute is eagles love challenges, thunderstorm, rain, because they know. Sorry. Sorry. The third is they love challenges. All of us face challenges in our business, in growth, with people. It's a lot of people management job as founders, as CEOs we have. And what an eagle does it starts flying above the clouds and enjoys the thunderstorm and the rain. They know that this is where they can survive and enjoy and others cannot. So you will face the storms, you will face challenges, you will face rainfall and everything else that you can see. High winds, everything. But you have to believe that you are the eagles and you will cross it. You have to fly over the clouds. Eagles are also change management. They are the best change managers. What do? They will create a nest, lay eggs. Once the egglet starts growing, they will start uncovering the middle layer, destroying the middle layer with straws and spikes and pokes every time, and it will start throwing the eaglet out of the nest. Every time it will try to come back, it will get hurt, bruise, bleed, and they will continuously try. Eagles will help their eaglets fly on their own, and that is our job, to create line 2 in our companies, line 3 in our companies. It will be tough. It's not going to be easy. But nobody else can do it for your own company. Only you guys can do it. In sales, I will create another parallel. Eagles survive on live food, not dead food. Right? All of you have to continuously think in sales, how do we get new customers? Not trying to take one customer which is dead, no budget, this company has it, let me call and say, I can give you 5% less. No. You have to find your own prey. And the last parallel I always find is rebirth. I don't know how many of you know, eagle live for around 40 years. And that is the time when they have to decide. Either they can choose to die, or they actually give rebirth to themselves. They break their own beaks, cut their own feathers. And it is very painful, very tough process. If you see the whole process of eagles' rebirth, they go through it because they know the process is painful, but at the end, it will give them another 30 years. As entrepreneurs, as founders, as CEOs, as presidents, you have to reinvent yourself, re-innovate yourself, build new teams in your company. Your key people will leave you. You have to rebuild line 2s, line 3s. Your main customer will go away one day. You are always depending on that one customer for 40-50% of your business, and one fine day they will say, hey, we have changed our plans, budget cut, we are going through bad phase, we are filing chapter 11, we got a better vendor, we got alternative technology, product, whatever it is. As eagles, you have to reinvent yourself. I try to bring these 5, 6, 7 parallels. I normally carry this across the world. I have seen it. It works more in the US because of the national bird, bald eagle. People are able to connect more. When I do these sessions in India or Africa, Ethiopia, I also compare it with lions. Because you have to connect with the audience. Lion is not the strongest, not the heaviest, not the bravest, but still is the king of the jungle. And if you put yourself in that situation, each of us may not be the biggest business in our industry, may not be the richest one, with the highest revenue, with no competition. You would get better companies in every single possible field. But there is one thing Lion has that makes him the king, that nobody else has, is the belief, is the confidence, and the attitude. When he looks at an elephant, he only thinks of food, nothing else. Look at the confidence. But when an elephant looks at the lion, all it thinks is run. Right? You have two options. There will be competition, there will be problems, there will be challenges, there will be, as I said multiple times, different challenges you all will face. It's your belief, confidence, and your attitude that's going to take it out there. So my first part is I will focus on each of your company's sales pipeline funnel, how to get a new customer. And I would have done only one slide. Okay, I'll run it with introduction on the speaker. Manish has already done a good job. There is nothing to add. We do workshops, we do sales consulting, we create playbooks, we spend time with your team, write the goals, MIS reports, process things, everything to do with sales, soup to nuts. We work with you closely so that you achieve your goals. That's the core business. This business is called Hunt Grow Consulting. My main business is Beyond Codes. We are a lead generation company for technology companies and products and product engineering companies. I am very much involved in the startup space, over 100 investments in startups in last 7 years. Most of them, I would say around 80% are technology companies and SaaS-based products. And then slowly we invest because we know that one day they will come back to us, can you help in sales? So, I'm involved with Stanford seed program, as Manish mentioned. Day before yesterday, I also joined the board of Stanford for their entrepreneurship and angel investment fund for SoCal. I deserve a round of applause. Yes, thank you. It was not easy, coming from India. First they said, you have a heavy accent, you don't take alcohol, you don't go to clubs, you have short height, your English is not that great, and US doesn't need sales and marketing people. They are the best in the world. They can sell what ice to a Eskimo. So if you are a technology person, coding person, it's easier. But I didn't know that. So I had two options, either not to come to US from India, and I was only 21, 22, or I come here, give it a shot and go back. And I think after 24, 25 years, I'm happy, 22 years, at least we are now doing what we are passionate about. We are helping a lot of companies here how to sell in global environment. Because a lot of companies have business in Americas and Europe and APAC, and we do help them globally. I don't want to do more of what we do, marketing, in this session. Written 2 books. If you like it, you can go on Amazon. Nothing major, but just if you play golf and do like sales, again, a lot of parallels drawn between the two. I already explained you, eagle and lion. This is one slide. If I talk, I can do an 8-hour workshop. I can do a 4-hour session or a 1-hour keynote only on one slide. So all of you, either on a piece of paper, or do you guys know each other very well, or is this new audience? New? Okay, let's do one thing. We'll play 2 games. 1 minute each. Please make a group of 2s or 3s on each table and share for 30 to 45 seconds the story of your name. There must be some story. So I want each of you to start interacting and just tell who kept your name Manish, why was it kept, what is the meaning of the name Manish, do you like it or not, whatever you want. Next 30 to 40 seconds, go ahead guys. Okay, let's come back. Let's come back. I think just the name, not your life story. Just the name. Okay, let's come back. Is there anybody who would like to share very interesting story of your partner about his or her name? We will pick 2 or 3 people here. Anybody who has a very interesting story behind their name, but you cannot tell your own story, you have to tell somebody else's story. Anybody please? Yes.
So this is Kim, and Kim was named after the actress Kim Novak, and her husband is Constantine, and she's Lebanese, and back then it was Istanbul.
Oh wow.
And so over the years changed to Constantine. So
That's interesting. Nice. Give a round of applause. Anybody else? Any exciting story, fun story? Yes, Sanjay.
So I think I'd like to introduce you to Patty Morales here.
Okay.
Patty got her name from her mom, who is also Patricia Morales, same name, and they're born on the same date.
What?
Same birthday, yeah.
That's awesome. Well done. That's interesting. Go ahead. Last one. Microphone.
Hi there, good morning everybody. Hello. Thank you. Good morning everybody. So I came as a refugee child from Vietnam at the age of 5 years old. We flew in from Vietnam to Cap Pendleton, and we waited for our sponsoring families, as most refugees had to do. And so we were sponsored from the lush tropical beach of Vietnam to the desert of southern Arizona, about 15 miles away from the areas to the Mexican border. And so my sponsoring family gave me a teddy bear. So I clutched that teddy bear for the first 5 weeks of my new life in America. And so as a result of that, I was named Ted for that teddy bear. And my Vietnamese nickname, incidentally, is Bao, which in Spanish is Ted as well. So, so I'm glad to be Ted, which also means in Latin, the gift of God. So thank you so much.
What a fantastic story. Good. Let's play one more game for 1 more minute. This will open your mind, your body, your heart and soul. I will tell you the purpose of this game after you have played the game. I want all of you on each table, you don't need to move. You can stand, sit, whatever you want, that's fine. Start speaking 1 word at a time. So let's say, Dhaval says, today, the person next to him says, is a very good day. I think we should, you know what I'm saying, right? Let's do each table, sit or stand, whatever you want to do, for 1 minute, you're going to make a sentence, okay? Let's start.
With think that's what it's called.
It can be anything. Make sense or no fun.
21 years old with a job.
Okay, we wrap it up. We wrap it up. We might play one more game, but let's see this. Is there any table that would like to share their sentence with us? Would you guys like to share what you said? The sentence you created. Come on. Would you like to share what sentence you created? One word at a time. This table, please. Any? Do you remember the sentence that you created?
Let's have fun and enjoy lunch.
Okay. Good morning. Let's have lunch and enjoy. Okay. Anybody else? Full sentence.
Hi, I'm beautiful and very competent in business development because I've done everything to grow.
Okay. That's nice. I will tell you. Sure, please.
Yeah, today we are at an amazing event to discover opportunities.
Wow. Look, very business focused people here in the room. Only the speakers are trying to have fun. Okay, and think about lunch. I'll tell you why we do such exercise. There are multiple exercises, activities we do with our teams to break the ice. Now, if you look at this 1 minute exercise, what has it done? It has allowed you to listen to the other person. Focus on the content. You're trying to anticipate the next word. But what happens? They say something totally different from what you were thinking, and suddenly you have to change. Oh, this is not the sentence they were thinking. In the process, you might have made some mistakes, but you enjoy. It's like a tada, you throw your hands in the air, and you celebrate failure or something that was not planned. Each of us, when we are trying to do sales, most of the time we are the one talking. We do not take feedback, neither from our customers, nor from our teams, partners, competition, market, social media, so on and so forth. Nobody has the patience. We as founders, CEOs, presidents, owners feel my way or highway, or I know the best, I'm not listening to anybody, move on. You're not a team player, but you expect everybody else in the team to be team players. But when it comes to decision making, most of us, we will think that we are very democratic, autocratic kind of leadership, but once we get in there is a point you stop and say, let's do this. No more discussions. You do not encourage ideas. And sales is not easy. There is no one shoe fits all. There is no one single thing that will get you success. And when you create a sales pipeline funnel, where L7 is suspects, L6 is prospects, leads, qualified leads, RFP, negotiation, closure, this entire journey of L7 to L0, in some cases it may be L5 to L0, L4 to L0, L10 to L0. I don't know your selling process, the buying process, the steps involved, whether you are a SBA, whether you are a Disney one, whether you are Okta, whether you are, TIE or any business, or you're an insurance agency, Liberty. We all have to make sure that we understand our funnel very well. If you pick the data of last 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever data you have, and start putting it in different stages. Hey, this was a suspect. I bought a database, I bought a list, I got somebody to do mass email, cold calling, blah, blah, blah. This is your universe. And then you start figuring out, oh my God, this is too small. This is too big a company. This is not in my neighborhood. I only service these zip codes. This is not a right fit for my offering. And then it is prospects and not the suspects. And then you start talking to them, meeting them, emailing them, calling them, connecting with them, social media, and then you start figuring out, are they qualified? Do they have budgets? Am I talking to the right guy in the company? Authority. Is there a need for my product or offering? Is there a problem that I can solve? Is the timing right? Are they looking now or 3 months? And then you all have heard about the band qualifications, and there are different models in qualifications. I can go on and on. But that is where you feel this is what we want. And then you start investing your time in those. Submit your proposals, quotes, and then you start negotiating. But the continuous input, the continuous effort has to be in that whole pipeline. And most importantly, top of the funnel. So if there is one thing you all need to take from this, not the workshop, but the keynote, is focus on as many leads on a continuous basis as you can in your business. If I tell Suhas, do you brush every day? How many minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. You twice a day? 10 minutes. If I tell you don't brush for 6 days, and on 7th day you brush for 90 minutes, which is more than the total of 6 first days, is that going to help you? Why? But you're still doing 90 minutes of brushing. If I tell Jeff, do you go to gym? Yeah? How about if you do 8-10 hours once every 2 weeks and don't do anything for the rest 14 days? Does it work? Similarly in sales also, even if you do 5 calls a day, 5 emails a day, 10 cold calls a day, spend LinkedIn 5 minutes a day, various, you have social media, there's so much of noise right now, so much of, opportunities out there. You have to be, it's not an option anymore, or it is and. We are no more in the world of or. Should I do digital? Should I do cold calling? Should I invest in Google ads? Should I do LinkedIn? Should I attend a conference? Should I, do a wine and cheese dinner with my prospects or customers? It is and now. Marketing has changed in last 20 years, and it has changed more since COVID. I thought I will do 4 conferences a year, speaker, I'm doing 8 a month. This is not even the core business. I don't even get paid for it most of the times. But the energy, the excitement, the leads that we get is, you might listen and say, hey, I'm not the right guy. Let me tell about this. Hey, I went to a conference, I heard. What we are trying to do in subconscious mind with all of you is trying to build our funnel, trying to get to different lists. So I would say at each stages, there are further stages, and at any point if you want, we can set up one call, we can set a workshop, I can explain you every single step, how they're important, why they're important. The next part is do's and don'ts. You have to understand, create a ICP. Everybody understands ICP? Ideal Customer Profile. As the head of the company, we have to write it, not assume. There's nothing as common sense. You have to write it. Second, personas. If I am reaching out to Disney, if Disney is my prospect, what is Disney? Is Disney the business of entertainment, or theme parks, or retail, or streaming, OTT, or who is your customer in Disney? Which division is the customer? Write it. Within Disney, who is your influencer? Who is your buyer? What is your org chart for Disney? How will you navigate in Disney? What is the messaging that you need to give to each individual? You cannot talk to a director, a pitch you have, and same thing you go and talk to a C-suite guy. Next month you get connected to a VP because you know your company and that 5-minute pitch you have, you keep giving the same pitch. When I come to any booth, you give it to me as a speaker. When Manish as a president goes, you give the same pitch. What do? And when a third party comes, what do? You have the same pitch. Because that is what you are comfortable with. That is what you think that he's understanding. I may not be even understanding your business at all. I don't know. So I think this personalized message, multi-channel, omni-channel, 360-degree approach, how to reach out to my customer is very important for growth mindset. And I think that is very important. Write your goals, write your targets. You all might have heard about the story of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee in 1970 wrote a letter to himself, and after that he wrote multiple letters to himself. He said, I want to be the highest paid Oriental actor in Hollywood. I want to be number one from 1970 to the end of 1980s. I want to make $10 million. Unfortunately, Bruce Lee died in 1973 while doing recording of some movie. But he had achieved all his goals. All his goals. He was number one for 1970 to 73, made over $10 million that year. Harvard actually did a review, a case study. They studied 800 people who used to write their goals, targets, short term, medium term, every day to-do list, every week list, month list, quarter, year, 3-year, 5-year plans. And they studied them for 11 years. When you will Google and read the case study, you will be surprised. 84% of the people never used to write their goals. They had somewhere in the mind. I want to do this million, this post, this title, this role, this country, this business, this exit, all that in mind. Never written. 84%. 13% would actually have the plan and write it on a piece of paper. And they had somewhere in the drawer. And only 3% would read it periodically or daily, regularly, whatever adjective you want to give, and also had action items on those. How will I do this? Where is the course correction required? Why am I not here? Have I missed my milestone? What do I do to come back on track? 3%. And when they further deep dive in these 800 people, they came to know who is making the most money. And this is not generic statement. They actually studied, created various algorithms and figured out those 3% were making more money what they had expected in their lifetime. Now this can have lot of, external variables and there is life changes. I'm not trying to generalize everything there, but I'm trying to create a parallel of writing the goals. So if you have a goal of closing one large account every year, which I call it a whale, and we do the whole workshop on whale hunting. I might try to do a 5-minute touching on that today if possible. Or how many new customers I want, what is the revenue I want, how many people I want to hire, how many conferences I want to go this year, how many should be my LinkedIn followers by end of the quarter, end of month, end of year. I think you need to get in everything in writing. And there's a culture in the company. As founders, as CEOs, you need to maintain the culture. Culture is in 3 parts. First is posters. Whatever you believe, whatever quote motivates, have it in your office, in your bathrooms, in your cafeteria, water cooler rooms, workstations, I don't care. Right there on the face, everybody can read. So that is the culture of a company. So if you are looking to get 10 new customers, your entire office, right from entry to everywhere, it should have that clear message. This year is about getting new customers. Whatever quotes, you have to research, think, find. Second, speeches. Every time you make a speech, you do a all hands up meeting, you do a town hall, that is very important. You reiterate. You share your dream with the team, you share your vision with the team, you share your milestones, you share your goals. Whatever it is, we need to get 10 proposals this month. We need 2 closures this month. We need to attend 7 conferences this quarter. I don't know what your thing is, or what is the quantity versus quality, fight you have in your mind. And the last one, as part of the sales culture, is this is the way we do it. And that is very important. From posters to speeches to this is the way we do it. And that is what everybody will see. The first 2 are inspiring, motivating, rush of blood, but the third one is going to take your whole company together. Whole company. And you don't have to speak. That is the way we do it. So they will see you as the most hardworking guy in the company. The first one to come, the last one to go. You are on top of your customer emails. You're focused on your sensitive, largest customers. You are the one addressing the problems. You are the one taking the team out for lunch and dinner. You are the one showing up first when there's a problem with a customer and nobody wants to be in front of customer at that time. You are the one leading it from the front. And when there is time to give credit, you are in the end. You're giving your team credit. And that is very important. That's the culture. So, posters, speeches, and that's the way we do it. Same thing we have tried in every single sales workshop when we do for companies. Somehow in a larger company, when I do with IBM, I do with Accenture, PayPal, Capgemini, Wipro, Tata, Infosys, some Atos in Europe or Explio, the leadership is at totally different page. Totally different page. We want to be world this, global company, we are in a business of this. When you talk to middle layer teams and the bottom lines or bottom teams, it's totally different. No connect. One is talking on profitability, scale, growth, adding shareholders value, investors, stock market, influencers, Gartner, McKinsey, they're talking at that level. Middle level is more focused on operations. Their vision for the company is very different. And I'm not saying it should not be. There are all levels in a company. But in the end, it should all sink into one common goal, what everybody is trying to do. You may be the car of the steering of the car, or the tires, or the clutch, or the gear. The ultimate objective is the car running efficiently, and is it safe to drive this car? If one is not in sync, brake or clutch or gears or tires or anything there, the car is not running. And this is the biggest gap when we do workshops. We have noticed that. It takes a lot. I think if you can do this as leaders, and you have to be problem solvers. I was giving the other day the story, a CEO goes to his team and says, guys, everything fine? He was visiting from one office to other. And yeah, the team is very good, we are happy. Any problems? No problems. One guy in the end raises his hand and says, our bathrooms, restrooms are not good. Management restrooms are so nice. They have nice toilet seats and wash basins. They always have soap, tissue papers, everything is there. Our bathrooms are not clean, the seat is broken, the sink leaks, the faucet is not great. So the CEO looks up to his vice president of admin and HR. Guys, what's the problem? Oh sir, this part of the office was newly constructed, that was old. He said, I want this bathroom to look same like the leadership bathroom. Okay sir, it will be done. How long will it take? Sir, 90 days. Why 90 days? We need city approvals, permits, supply chain, post-COVID, so much of problems. Nobody has the same color stock, whatever. So he looks up to his team and says, guys, he calls a guy and says, do one thing. The plate outside the worker's bathroom, replace it with management and put the management plate outside the worker's bathroom. That's it. And don't do anything. Just the mindset. In 7 days, the new bathroom was constructed. 7 days. That's it. Everything was done. From permits to supply chain to effectiveness to whatever they had to do. And we all face up these problems in our companies, whether it is sales or other things. If your mindset is to solve a problem, address to an issue, and do it right then and there, at least the solution, the path, that is going to help. And this is what I meant, this is the way we do it. It's not about talking, posters, no. He just changed it and he said, this is the way we will do it. And now you are going to use this bathroom and the problem was solved. The 3 pillars for sales in today's time is, this is the new PPT, people, process and technology. Get the best guys for your job, relevant experience, education, and there's a big difference between education and learning, and I don't want to get into degrees and certifications versus experience and learning. Both are equally important to me. I have done my double MBA, I did my Japanese management, I did first MBA in strategy and marketing, and then again I did from Stanford Having said that, I also feel 23 years of experience has taught me things that those colleges had not taught me. So on one side, while I am a strong believer of education and academics and certifications, I'm also a believer that a lot of us have real-time ground experience, and that matters a lot. We have to put both together. As people, motivation, their incentive plans, their compensation, is any of your policy, any of your decision impacting their kitchen? We may think, what is right for business and cutthroat and do everything. If the guy who is working for you is not motivated enough and is still working, that is worse. If he leaves, it's still okay. If he's demotivated and working, that's the worst. Processes. People will come, people will go. And you don't want to be working for rest of your life forever till your last day. If you put process to every single thing, and I'm talking very specific to sales. Sales, why I'm focused? Because every salesperson has a different style of selling. Different pitch, different body language, different social media sites he goes. One can use Google AdWords to the best, the other will fail in Google AdWords. He's going to believe in LinkedIn. Third will say Instagram. Fourth will say I need influencers. And you don't know what is working, what is not. How much each person is spending, time, effort, energy and money. When you start putting processes, that this is my first thing, if this doesn't work, am I doing parallel, the second or third, or is it after this? That is very important. Processes from compensation to incentive plan to commission plan to training plans to quality checks to delivery operations, are they all synced there? If we have seen the single most reason for failure, I cannot comment on success. Failure was there were no processes. Even the company was successful when it scaled up or when the challenges came, the environment changed, they were no longer there. Technology, you like it or not, you believe it or not, unfortunately we all are in the world, whether it is Gen AI, Chat GPT, all these things, they are here to stay. Personally, when this question is asked to me, do you think they are going to take a lot of jobs away? My answer is they are going to change the way we work, not take away the jobs. So if we train ourselves and leverage the technology, the latest things, is ChatGPT the first thing that has come where everybody is scared of the jobs? No. Y2K was a bigger problem at that time. Will this be the last thing? Probably not. Maybe the shelf life of ChatGPT is 6 months and something else will come in 6 months. And everybody will think ChatGPT is nothing. Look at this thing. Because just before ChatGPT, everybody was talking about AI. And then suddenly Gen AI came and chatbots came. And then they said replace the call centers. I don't know what will happen to India and Philippines, but let's see. So this is very important. People, process, technology. I heard, he's sharing story about Vietnam, and I will give you a 2-minute story. There was a Navy, I don't know, captain or commander, captain, his name was Charlie Plum. Anybody heard Charlie Plum's story? Yeah, the parachute packers, right? And Charlie did 74 combat missions successfully in the Vietnam War. Every time he would go out, people were rooting for him, cheering him, Charlie, Charlie, and Charlie is just walking 74 successful missions. History, epic, legend. On the 75th mission, he goes and there's a bullet that hits his plane and he ejects himself with the parachute. Unfortunately, he lands in Vietnam. He's a prisoner of war for 6 years. And if you have heard the story, if I'm anywhere wrong, do help me there. 6 years. I don't want to get into his life for that 6 years, but after 6 years he's come back. US and Vietnam, they have attacked, prisoners of war are released. The guy comes and settles in, I think Kansas or Dallas, I think Kansas. And one day he was having breakfast, brunch. And the person sitting across his table walks up to him and says, "Are you Charlie Plum?" He said, "Yes." "Are you the guy with 74 F4 combat missions successful?" He said, "Yes, I'm the one." "Are you the one who was taking that 75th plane and that shot and you were in Vietnam for 6 years?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm the one." Who are you? He said, I'm the sailor. I packed your parachute that day. And looks like I did a good job. And Charlie Plump is very embarrassed because he was so much about himself, never cared about people. He was at the top of his fame, success, name, everything. He didn't realize who were the people who were taking care of his planes and parachutes and jets and safety and everything. It was because of them he was able to do 74 successful missions. And the story I always share this is, we need to acknowledge our unsung heroes, people who are behind the scenes. Each of us in our companies, our organizations, whatever big company you are or a startup, a small, medium or a technology, a SBA company or an insurance agency, a dentist or a healthcare professional, we all have to acknowledge people who are behind the scene. I loved it when Manish started by appreciating and acknowledging all these people who helped in setting up the room. And that is very important. Imagine they get a good keynote speaker and fantastic speakers to follow and a nice place and the audio is not working. Imagine the projector is not working. The chairs are not kept properly. There is no water behind. Somebody has to take care of it. We don't appreciate that much, but I think please, when you create your org chart, give some weight, give some score to people who matter, without whom, please find your sailors. Please find your parachute packers in your company. Next 2-3 minutes I will talk about account-based marketing. My first, not half, 70% of the time was talking about new business and hunting. This is one thing, if you have an account, how do we grow the account? Maybe you are doing a business with Disney for $100,000, but the potential is $1 million. How do you grow the account? How do you create that contact list? Is your pitch same what it was for hunting or what it was for other prospects who you go after? How do you do the org mapping for an existing account? How do you leverage that your empaneled vendors or certifications or 8A or minority owned or women owned business? How do you leverage that in an existing company? There are books, blogs, YouTube's written on that. I'm happy to meet you guys one-on-one or Zoom session. This is, as Philip Kotler said, and Sanjay has a different Harvard number on this, the cost of acquiring a business, as we all learned traditionally, 7 times more than, growing an existing business, existing customer. So if you are, hard cash crunch, if you have limited resources, I would say hunting is expensive, is a long shot. You have to do it, but if you do not have resources or energy or team to do it, focus on existing customers and how to grow them. Account selection, how to find the ICP there, personas there, how to nurture those leads are very different from how you nurture the hunting leads, and finally how you close more business there. I'm not focusing on the slide. I am under 10 minutes now, and 2-3 minutes I will take on a whale, and that's my favorite subject. How to catch a whale. Every year you need to add one account at least that will add 15% of your company's revenue. At least one. Otherwise, you're done. It's a matter of time. One day, something will happen to your biggest customer. Our first whale we got in my own company after 3 years. And we did it in 2010. We are in 2023. I can tell you every single year after 2011, we were able to hunt one whale. And whales can be different. They can be orca, beluga, humpback, and I can get into details of what each means in sales context. How to create a winning team, right from naming your conference rooms to giving titles to your team that is going to do it, to harpooners and chapman and oaksmen and people who do scouting, what tools you use, what boat you create, who are sitting in the boat to catch a whale, how you hunt a whale, how you ride a whale, how you bring a whale to the beach, how you sew the mouth, how you celebrate hunting a whale, how you take it head back to the ocean, worship, pray and thank ocean and the God of seas for giving you that whale that feeds your whole village for the next 1 year. And once you have that part of the whale, how you distribute the whale to all the key people in your team. Sales and operation and delivery and management and finance and HR, and everybody gets a part of the whale because everybody contributed to catch the whale. So for each of you, if your business is not growing as the way you expected or is too much dependent on that 1, 2, 3 customers only, the 80-20 principle of McKinsey, you need to continuously find whales, continuously hunt whales, create special teams. You don't catch whales with the same net and tools that you catch a dolphin. You don't catch a humpback the way you catch a beluga. Orca has totally different things. And who knows better than a shaman or a chapman? You guys. They are the ones who know every single move a whale will do, how to catch a 10-ton whale with a team of 5 or 6. We run various workshops around that for large companies. How IBM can get $150 million from Starbucks. How HCL can do cloud computing with Disney for $300 million 5-year contract. So on and so forth. And that's a whale. It's a long process, specialized team, and I'm not comparing that, creating parallels with your company. Your customer may be $20,000, but that's a whale for you. That's a whale for you. Your strategies, your growth mindset, everything has to be there. You all have to think about potatoes, coffees, and beans. Has anybody heard about this? Knows the story? So there's a there's a kid who fails in his main exam and he's very depressed. Father comes to him. What happened? I failed. What happened? Oh, I could not, in your context, could not sign up the deal. You know, I lost it to my competition. I really prepared very hard. I don't know where we lost it in the sales funnel and whatever. And I'm doing it with the SAT exam with the kid. So the father says, okay, come on. He gets 1 potato, 1 egg, and some coffee beans. And he says, put them in hot boiling water. Son is like, okay, hot boiling water. And after some time, he says, let's see what happened to the potato. He opens the potato, it's all mashed, soft, mushy. What happens to the egg? He breaks that egg, it's a hard-boiled egg. What happened to the coffee beans? Dad, it just melted. Look at the color of the water. It looks like coffee now. He said, and this is life. Some will look strong from outside. When the problem comes, the boiling water comes, the challenges come, they will break. They will become softer, mushy. Some will look soft from outside, but when you see, they are hard-boiled. So they know how to take care of these challenges. Great, like a hard-boiled egg. But you need to be coffee beans. That will change the whole situation. You could not clear the exams, now you find something, or you could not strike the deal with that customer. Now you do something that is not even thought of, unprecedented, or something where you are the best. So to each of you, you will lose a lot of customers and prospects and leads and RFPs and every single process in the sales, every single funnel, you will lose a lot. But if you continue to think like a potato or an egg, you will never be a coffee bean. So for a mindset of a coffee bean, it is very, very important what our business is and what can we do in our business which our competition cannot. What solution we can provide to our customer. Most of the time our customers are not even aware that they have problems. And my last story, as I see it's under 3 minutes, is the old vulture story. The old vulture flies one day along with his whole family, 30, 40 vultures together, baby vultures, young vultures, everybody together. And they land they find a unique new island. So they're very surprised. How come nobody's here? Lot of fishes, good food, nice weather, and they're so happy. And every day they were getting food. No more hard work, no more reason to fly, no more new things to do, no risk of life, so much of safety. So the old vulture, the wise man thinks, this is not good. The wise man thinks, if we are getting everything that we want, that's not good. There are no challenges. Everybody, we are getting safety, it's comfort zone. We have to come out of comfort. So he calls a meeting and he says, guys, let's go back to the mainland. And all these young eagles and vultures and the baby were, are you crazy? When God has given us food and the weather is good and there is no problem of safety, why the hell do you want to go? No, this will happen, that will happen. No, you're crazy. I think you're 70 plus now. The mind is not working. So he tries to pursue them, doesn't work. The old vulture flies back to the mainland. And after a few days, he starts missing his family. Because there's nobody back there now. So he says, okay, let me go and say hello to them after like a week or so. He comes back and sees everybody's gone. They are dead, injured, bleeding. Couple of them are just about to die. And rest everybody is dead. So old vulture goes to one of those baby vultures. What happened here? He said, you know what? One day a ship came, the day after you left, after a couple of days. And that container had all the wild animals. And they decided to leave the wild animals in this island for better habitat and life and blah, blah, blah. And we had forgotten how to fly. We were not even aware what to do. We kept on looking at each other, how what to do. And by the time they attacked us, we didn't know what to do at all. And you were so right. We wish we would have heard you. And my parting note to everybody is all of us are old vultures of our own company. What example I gave of eagle, rebirth and the vulture, all of us have to continuously invent ourselves, innovate ourselves, find new offerings to sell, find new solutions to our problems, find what our customer problems and our products are meeting that or not. Do we need to upgrade our product or not? Are we out of our comfort zone or not? And I think based on that, keep rebuilding your pipeline on a regular basis. Thank you so much for your time today. I think I just made it in 59 minutes. Hope you guys have a great conference today. Thank you so much. And namaste.